Everything just fell over.
Weevils do that, but they come back. They come back again.
Oh, okay. All right.
Here we go. I don't know if you know this song. Right? Say It Ain't So, Joe.
Mhm.
It's a song that was released in 1975 by a singer called Murray Head.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Youngsters probably won't have heard of this song. No, neither of the singer nor the song,
Mhm.
because going back
Yeah. 70s, the
quite
80s. Yeah. Yeah.
a year. Um, there are a few references as to how successful the song was in the charts at its first release back then.
Mm.
But in 2013, Roger Daltrey recorded the cover, and it reached number 20 in the French charts. It
Mm.
wasn't released in the UK.
Yeah.
So why was the song released in the first place? Uh, so using Muddy Head's own words, this is what he said. He said, this is how he wrote the song
Yeah.
in the from the very beginning. He said, it was while I was watching a news report about how Richard Nixon still had an enormous following
Mm.
despite Watergate
Mm.
and all the lies that he had told the American public that I felt compelled to write the song.
Mm.
In this report, the journalist had gone to a small town in Washington State and ended up questioning the editor of a local paper. He asked him why, in the face of such incriminating evidence, people were still blindly supporting Richard Nixon. The editor replied in an anecdote about the most famous of all US baseball players, Shoeless Joe Jackson,
Mm.
who in the 1920s had taken a bribe to sink his team in the World Series, in the US baseball final.
Yeah.
It's World Series. For months afterwards, fans were heard to be shouting around the stadium, "Say it ain't so, Joe,"
Mm.
thereby implying that even in the face of hard evidence, they couldn't accept that their arch hero had done anything wrong.
Mm.
So Murray said, "My song was partially about how world leaders have let us down after they come
Mm.
into power, and also about Joe Public being unable to accept they made the wrong choice
Mm.
and voted for a dishonest man."
Mm.
Whilst protest songs serve to make people aware, they have little effect on history.
Yeah.
So take, for example, Tony Blair and George Bush. They led us into the Gulf War under false pretenses, yet were both re-elected.
Mm.
Yeah. And the result was, of course, the financial crisis in 2008.
Mm.
Even more recently, he said, in the lyrics, playing his trump card, which is part of the lyrics of the song. And we've just passed through 4 years of mayhem with the very basis of democracy being poisoned by fake news
Mm.
against Donald Trump. That's what he said.
Yeah.
Okay. So now in the UK, we see, this is me speaking now.
Yeah. I get that. Yes. Yeah. Here we go.
Now in the UK, we see the new leader, Keir Starmer, who, before his election, vowed no tax hikes.
Mm.
Pensioners need not worry, they will not be affected. And he was waging war on illegal immigration.
Yeah.
October will be when the next budget will be declared.
Yes.
So we have to see how many Starmer fans will once again shout, "Say it ain't so, Joe." Or, in this case, Kai, um, Kia.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh,
In the face, I'm not quite finished.
no, no, that's okay. Yeah.
But we're getting there because
I'm sighing out of sympathy and yeah.
in the face of the current cabinet accepting expensive gifts from wealthy donors, £18,000 worth of clothes for Kia, new
Yeah.
glass and new glasses.
Yeah.
Angela Rayner receiving hotels being paid for,
Yeah.
and the children of some cabinet members who were receiving gifts.
Yeah.
And you've got this, glasses for passes
Mm.
uh, scandal of uh, donors being given free access
Yeah.
to number 10, to number
Yeah.
10 down.
Mm.
Um, so we need to ask if there will be any way back to at least some sort of decorum
Mm.
in the UK, or is it going to be a case of just whatever brings the money in for
Okay.
the politics?
Yes.
There you go.
Oh, over to me. Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, I grew up partly listening to Murray Head. I'll start off with the light side of it. Um, yeah, I remember him doing numbers from Chess, from Jesus Christ Superstar, and other things. Yeah, talented guy. Mate, he could do soul, he could do rock, he could sing almost anything, and do some rap as well, minor rap. Um, so yeah, I mean, yeah, it's interesting. You just brought some memories, and I remember him singing on the top of a church somewhere, derelict church somewhere in the video. Yeah. Now here we go. Um, Overall, I mean, well, you have to remember Nixon, dishonest and everything, but laid bare. From my reading, to say he wasn't a bad president, he wasn't one of the worst. Let's put it that way. Um, okay, Watergate and things like that shouldn't have happened, but we don't know how common practice a lot of all this was, and maybe still is. Yeah, that's the point I'm going to make about Nixon. Yeah,
I think it was such common practice
yeah,
that it was one of the hugest scandals,
yeah,
which suggests that it wasn't common practice
yeah,
because it became such a huge
yeah,
monumental scandal.
yeah.
Probably the biggest scandal in US
Oh yeah,
political history.
yeah. I mean, yeah, feel all the president's men is about it, etc. But yeah, but moving on from that, I mean, it's history now. Um, yeah, you're rather hoping that yeah, political scandals are a thing of the past, but they've always gone on. Now, yeah, I'm going to address this Tony Blair situation. The problem with Tony Blair was there was no real good alternative at the time to vote for under the British political system.
Right.
I mean, the guy, the, I mean, and he was a smooth talker. I know people that met him who said disagree with everything he said, but what a nice chap. And when he speaks and everything, he has a way of putting it. Looking back on it, it makes me cringe. I never voted. I can't remember voting. I'm not going to start some of my voting practices here, but he. I mean, yeah, he's probably the best leader the Tories never had. If you understand what I mean by that. Yeah, yeah, yes. Never trusted him. There's just something about him that you never trusted. Yeah, he'd lie for breakfast. He would. Um, and yeah, you got to look for who he married into, the family, and everything else. But yeah, that's a different matter. Um, so yeah, there was no alternative. So people forgave him, gave him a pass. Same with America with Bush. Really, he had a pass because there was no decent alternative. Um, and this happens in politics sometimes, admittedly. It's timing. Um, Now, when you talk about it led to the crash, you can't lay it all on the politicians' um, feet or all on them. There was also, I know people working in the financial industry who predicted it before it happened. You can say they should have regulated this and done this and done that. Okay.
There you are.
Yeah. But
They should
hey,
have stopped it. They should have stopped it when they knew it was going to happen.
yeah, but they didn't. Well, they thought that the people in charge would be able to sort it out themselves. Yeah. And self-regulation, decent, honest people understood their industry, knew what the consequences of bad malpractice could be, or not best practice. So you can't put it all on the politicians, but yeah, okay, you can say they're regulated and all that. They were meeting with people. Politicians don't really understand business. That's why they're probably politicians and not doing business. All I know. I mean, yeah, let's be honest about it. How many of them really have got much of a clue about all that? Yeah, we can read the papers, comment. We're not in the world. I know people that were who said we're heading for disaster. We're screaming it. I know one person that actually got sacked or removed from his position because he predicted it quite vocally with his managers. Refused to do anything that didn't help the bottom line. I'm not saying who, but so I saw all this happening. When it actually happened, I remember, yeah, I was working nights. I had the paper. I'm only a technician. Basically heard the world collapse overnight. But that's a different story, and I'll count that another time. So, yeah, but yeah, obviously, yeah, but that led to a new era. Obviously, Obama won in the US at that time. Brown got in the UK, I think, then. More of the same. Again, no real alternative. Right, bring us up to present day with Keir Starmer. Who is Keir Starmer? What is Keir Starmer? I'm going to be very honest. Or no, let's put it this way. Of 60% who could vote, who actually bothered to vote in the last election, and I'm sorry, guys, if you don't vote, you're going to get bad stuff. Yeah. Only 33%, I believe, actually voted for the Labour. Okay, and under the they won under the game rules. Okay, the laws of the game, as it were, the first past the post system in the UK. Yeah, yeah, we can argue about this. From what I can tell, he has an agenda. I don't know where the agenda comes from. Is it socialist? Is it from other places? I don't know. It's, to me, what he's doing is absolute control, and he's found a certain ideology which aligns with what he wants for control. The guy is probably the most totalitarian leader the UK has ever known. And I'm going to say that. I mean, I'm not scared to say it. I'm entitled to say it. He can come forward and defend himself. He has every scope to do it.
We can say what we like, Mark. We are a very long, long way away.
Well, yeah, yeah. But I mean, I'm not scared. I mean, I'm not calling for anything against him. You know, I'm just saying what I feel from judging by what I've seen, what he's said from his own mouth, not second party or third party. Now, what's he up to? They accepting gifts, whatever you want to call it, perks of the job. Yeah, I mean,
well, you know, I think MPs they used to get these big gifts, and then it was determined in Parliament they could only receive a gift up to the value of £200. I think it was.
Yeah, declaration. Yeah,
I mean, all of a sudden he's getting 18. It's 18 or 80. I can't remember. £18,000 worth of clothes.
Wow.
To make him look dapper.
Yeah, well, the figure is academic. It's the fact it's happening. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, okay, if it was to promote British things, I'm wearing this jacket made exclusively in Scotland or Wales or wherever. Okay, I could a little bit go with that. The guy is not the biggest patriot I've ever known. And I mean, patriot has been overused. I'm not using patriot as an aggressive, I'm a patriot. Yeah. Patriotism has different meaning or different levels. Um, I think he's a globalist, certainly. Um, that's obvious.
He's
He
not not currently in the EU for nothing. He's not in Germany for nothing.
exactly. Yeah. I mean, he doesn't care what us ordinary voters say, and I still vote in the UK. I'm going to be honest, and I didn't vote for Labour last time. Um, but yeah, but I don't wish any winning party ill of any country. It doesn't matter where that is. You hope they have a successful tenure. I do not see what's happening now successful. The demonisation of a majority of the population is happening. And I'm going to turn this political. I'm sorry, but I'm going to. Um, I think the guy realizes he's on a very, and this issue said no going back. The guy is on a very, very short time frame to get his agenda in place to be irreversible. And I believe that's what he's working towards. You can disagree with me on this. I don't, that's just
Well,
how I see it.
yeah,
Yeah.
what his beliefs are, and what his politic is,
Mm,
uh, isn't really what I was trying to get at.
mm,
What I'm getting at is that, as certainly since Trump was in power
mm.
in the US, that lying is becoming more and more obvious
Yeah.
and more commonplace
Mm,
in the political realms, in the political
yeah.
ambit. So what we have here in the case of Starmer is exactly what I said when he said before the elections,
Mm,
pensioners don't need to be worried.
yeah.
The taxes won't go up, you
Mm,
know. And as soon as he's elected, then they said the tax is going to go up. Pensioners are going to lose their heating allowance over when they need it the most, of course.
mm, yeah.
And he said it's going to get worse before it gets better. Now, he could have said that before he was elected.
Well, he wouldn't do because nobody elected him. Yeah.
Well, you know, I mean, I was saying this
Yeah.
uh, when the previous people who were in power,
Mm,
people their rent money during COVID.
yeah.
They were paying off their rents. They were giving
Yeah.
them the wages, and I said, "Yes, you can't sustain this.
No.
You know, you're giving all this away.
Mm.
It's going to have to be given back into the public coffers to balance things up again."
Well, the,
And basically, I understand that Starm is going to have to do that.
mm,
He's going to have to do that,
yeah.
but the way he's trying to do it is by not being truthful. He needs to say to the people, "Look, all this money was given away.
Yeah.
You need to put it back. You know, you can't have your cake and eat it," as Boris Johnson would say.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, um, yeah, an honest politician. That's a novel concept, but yeah, it's uh, yeah. I mean, we all knew it. Us with a bit of intelligence, and I think a majority of people realise this. No such thing as free money. The trouble is that's always been the agenda. I honestly partly believe that this was all part of some grand scheme. I,
yes, of course.
I don't want to be conspiratorial, but um, you will have nothing and be happy. Well, you don't
Yeah.
have any choice. Um, and it didn't matter which one. We've had a uni party in charge for probably 20 years in effect now, and they've been able to run their agenda. Whether it's been, how can I put it? It's frightening. Suddenly, a new kid comes on the block with common sense ideas, which have been deemed radical and extremist. Um, and whoa, upset the apple cart. Yeah. I mean, you speak to people. I mean, yeah, Trump was outside the establishment. We've got politicians in the UK who are strictly speaking outside the establishment. Um, Even those that have been in it for a while are outside the establishment. Um, they are dangerous people to the people, as you say, who've got their snouts in the trough. Yeah, who are going to yeah, upset the nice little earners and the nice little power trips. And that's all it's all about. It's about power as well. Um, the latest thing that the Starmer has come out with about the smoking ban. Hang on, this has come out. What's being hidden behind this? What else is going on? Another lie is going on in the background. Suddenly they're getting us all annoyed about smoking ban. I don't smoke. I don't like smoking, I would admit. I don't care. Somebody goes outside to have a smoke or a smirt or whatever they want to call it. Um, Go knock yourself out. I'm not happy about that. I have to pay my taxes for the NHS on you later, but I've seen too many people die of smoke. But that's people's personal choice. Yeah.
I used to smoke cigars.
Mm.
So if somebody smokes in front of me, I don't really care. I don't
Yeah.
care.
Well,
And
I mean,
if I had the opportunity to buy better cigars, I would do, and I would smoke them.
yeah. I mean,
inside or outside. I don't care.
yeah. I mean, okay. It's nice to go to a pub and then not be smoking anywhere. And okay, people will go along with common sense ideas. Even smokers agreed with that. You know, we are in the minority now. Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
But I'm seeing more and more. Yeah, but it's about control as well. Let's be honest.
Yep.
All the time they get us to accept something, accept something. Today it will be smoking. Tomorrow, what will it be next? Restrict your drinking intake, your alcohol intake, for whatever reason. Again, control. Get us into the mind that the state knows best for us.
Yep.
This is real Animal Farm 1984 stuff. And okay, it's popular culture coming in. Yeah. Us as the fools keep voting for these people.
Right. Well, this is something that I wanted to draw on as
Yeah.
well. It isn't only, I mean, the politicians are lying because they are being allowed to lie.
Yeah.
The people, some people, not everybody, who they treat the political party
Mm.
more important than the policies
Yeah.
of what the political parties are pushing.
Yeah.
So, you can get these pockets of people that have always voted Labour and will vote Labour, and that's it. It's done. It's done and
Yeah.
dusted. Without actually looking at what what the projects are, what Labour are actually doing now.
Mm.
They'll never hear a bad word against Labour, even because they
Mm.
don't want to admit that they're wrong.
Yeah.
They don't want to, as Muddy had said, they don't want to admit that they voted in a cheat and a liar.
Mm.
And they got it wrong with the vote,
Well,
and I feel that's sad. I feel a little bit sad.
well, let's be honest.
Some way.
In Keir Starmer and his crew, his Politburo, a majority of people didn't vote for them. So
Well, I mean, the rules are the same for everybody. So
I know, yeah.
I don't buy this. It isn't proportional representation and everything.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, what is the ideal system? Yeah, I know
I
that.
mean,
Yeah,
I know that Farage, he stood where he stood because it was easy for him to get voted in.
yeah,
And Londoner, Mr. Tice,
yeah,
he liked to go to Lincolnshire
yeah,
and get voted there
yeah,
because it was a place where he knew he was going to get elected. So you
yeah.
can't
Okay.
you can't really
Yeah, I
argue.
know.
Well,
Yeah, I know. They parachute or whatever you want to call it. Yeah, you go and stand. I mean, yeah. I mean, it's always been a problem. I mean, or certainly recent times. Yeah, I mean, how do you get around that? I mean, you could have. I mean, yeah. I have often thought about that. If I did stand in the UK, I wouldn't want to stand anywhere else but the place I know and understand the people. Or feel I understand the people. Let's put it that way. And where I have a passion to fight for a place. I'm not suggesting these people all not fight, but yes, I don't like ideological ideas. Yeah, I'm going to vote for this because of this. You vote for whomever you think is best or least worse for you. Least worst or least politics anywhere in the world now. Um, it's yeah, I mean, until something breaks the cycle. I mean, admittedly, you talk to a lot of Trump voters. They might not even like Trump as a person. Yeah, he's a larger than life character to us. Yeah, British people. It's an American. He's an American animal, not a British one. Um, I don't think a lot of people love him. I think they see his ideas and everything else are sensible, pragmatic, good for them as individuals and good for the country. The two can align. What's good for an individual is also good for a country. The problem with other ideologies, it's good for the few and not the many, and not necessarily good for the country. Um,
Well,
and
Trump's first election, his first pledge was to drain the swamp,
yeah, well,
right? So that's what got him elected.
yeah,
Going to drain the swamp, and at least the people of America, of the US, know who this now
yeah,
know the swamp creatures really are.
yeah. But the swamp creatures have now galvanized, formed into a great big
Yes,
whatever, and
but
um,
they can only do this if the electorate votes them in, and that's what I'm saying. Some people they will vote in the party and not the
yeah,
person,
yeah,
and that there is a mistake.
yeah. I mean, okay, we'll use an example. We might mention in the past. You and I could probably comfortably vote for the Democratic Party of Kennedy, President Kennedy, in the 60s.
Yeah,
Okay, I wasn't alive then. It was a different time, and I know different situations. Yeah, I understand that. Um, you and I possibly would have a lot of difficulty. We'd have difficulty voting for Republicans. We'd have a hell of a lot of difficulty voting for Democrats as well. But you've got very little option, which is again a problem with the modern system now. We're all a little bit more educated, or should be. Just like you say. And let's be honest, Steve, have you ever read, you may have read a manifesto of political parties. I've glanced at the summaries. Yeah. Um, I'm, a lot of us aren't going to sit down and read it, even if we have time. A lot of people do not have time to sit down and read manifestos and understand all the implications. We rely on the media to tell us exactly what's going on, what things are, what the pros and cons of things are. And we don't have that anymore. Um, the problem is, okay, if you're a Republican, you're going to watch Fox in the US. If you're a Democrat, you're going to watch MSB yeah,
MSNBC.
MSNBC. Yeah, I used to be CNN, but nobody watches that anymore, which is a shame because it used to be decent. Um, and yeah, in the UK, okay, people might watch TV, GB News, BBC, or others. Um, it's a shame, yeah, it's polarization. Um,
There's nothing to stop anybody from watching both.
well, that's it. And that's what we should be doing. I mean,
That's,
I know
and,
people,
and also,
yeah,
and also not to vote in a party,
mm,
but to vote in a person,
exactly. I mean,
which is very different than voting Democrat or voting Republican. You vote in
yeah,
Joe Bloggs because they seem to got a better hand on a better idea of where they want to take the country.
well, yeah, the country
And of
or,
course,
yeah,
it also helps if they have some history behind them of being
yeah.
honest, you know, because otherwise you get the fake news and the Starmers of this world coming into power.
Well, yeah, I'm going to
And
finish.
we can't forget, the last administration in the UK, which was also lying
It's
because
awful. Yeah.
they said the economy in the UK was brilliant, and it wasn't.
No,
But you didn't need a crystal ball or tarot cards to see this. But
well,
they insisted that it was.
yeah, but the unfortunate thing, a lot of people, I mean, the BBC weren't questioning it. For example, the BBC is still probably the widely most watched channel, let's put it that way. It was probably better in some ways when news was just restricted to an hour at a time, when they had to get the facts bang, bang, bang out, rather than this drawn out thing we have now, where people are being allowed to get a little bit more of their own edge, their own ideas in. I think it's a shame the way things have gone. We've probably got, in some ways, yes, we have access to more information. The thing is, I would agree, on a lot of YouTube channels, let's be honest, that's what most people watch, are biased one way or another. Even if they claim not to be. They're going to be run by individuals. Us, for instance, we do have a bias one way or another. We try not to. We try and be objective. I mean, yeah, I can understand, and I'm going to stick out here. Keir Starmer saying that, yeah, the internet, people got to understand that we've got this thing called the internet and information, that, yeah, but who controls the information now? And that is an important question. Who controls the information? There's twofold. I'm not really happy Elon Musk starting to have a go at country leaders, but I agree with him, because I think that's a dangerous thing as well, as much as I agree with Elon Musk. I do think that the leaders are very, very terrified, because now we are beginning to understand more and more what fake news is, what's real, more and more establishment now. As individuals, the power's coming back to us as individuals. It's not some dark thing that's held in the corridors of power. As individuals, we can question everything. Starmer's trying to close down independent channels in the UK. I don't know what Harris will do in the future if she does win. And let's not discount her. It can happen. That's going to be a...
Well, we got the confession, the letter of confession from the founder of Facebook.
Yeah.
The day before yesterday.
Yeah.
Saying that the US government was pressuring him to censor posts and to block certain information about COVID, and of course the laptop was not real. Right?
Yeah.
We've got here in Brazil, the government trying to influence Rumble.
Yeah. Well, yeah, Rumble made the decision.
Yeah. Well, Rumble decided to pull out.
Yeah.
As Elon Musk is threatening Europe, I believe closed down the European office. So, oh no, it's here in Brazil. It closed down
it's already closed here. Yeah.
Right, because he didn't want any staff of his to get arrested for trumped up charges.
Yeah.
But the guy from Telegram, who was arrested in France because he wouldn't uncrypt.
Yeah.
Because not what it's the governments want to control what you say.
Exactly. Yeah.
They need to know what you say before they control you. And this Telegram, just like WhatsApp, is encrypted. And I'm sure that WhatsApp is going to be next.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it is territory 1984, no doubt about it. Orwellian, as we say.